Carry On Constitution. Chapter 3.
It was about 0400 in the morning, ship's time, when David's communicator sounded.
Captain, Kaita here. We have an unidentified ship 1,000 kilometers ahead.
Half asleep, David asked, "Does it match any ship's configuration in our computer banks?" The watch officer replied.
No, sir. None.
David asked, "What is its heading?" Kiter answered.
Coming right at us, sir, at sublight speed.
David ordered, "Slow to impulse and hail our visitors. Assure them of our peaceful intentions. I'll be right up." The Centurion replied.
Aye, sir.
Stella looked up and kissed him and flopped back on the bed and went back to sleep. David got up, dressed quickly, combed his hair, and left for the bridge.
Captain on the bridge.
Commander Kiter called. David responded, "As you were." "What have we got, Commander?" Kiter answered.
It's on screen, sir. So far, they have not responded to our hails.
The captain ordered, "Lieutenant Colfer, hail that ship on all frequencies, even VHF and HF if you please." Colfer responded.
Aye, aye, sir. Sir, we have a response on VHF.
David nodded, on screen. "I'm Captain David Stevens of the United System Heavy Cruiser Constitution. Greetings." On the screen appeared a handsome woman in a System Navy uniform wearing captain's stripes.
Greetings, Constitution. I am Captain Jana Zenner of the United System Deep Space Ship, Enterprise. We do not recognize your ship as being from the United System. How do you explain that, Captain?
Puzzled, David replied, "Captain Zenner, we don't recognize your ship's configuration as being in the inventory of the United System either. The explanation must be that we are representing different systems." Jana answered.
That does make some sense. I represent the United System of Planets.
David replied, "That is curious, I represent the United System of Planets. I'm going to have my navigator transmit a star chart with the general location of our system." Jana responded.
I'll do the same.
After a brief pause, David addressed the Enterprise. "I see that your system is located in a galactic quadrant to the west of our home quadrant." Jana replied.
I see that your system is in a quadrant to the south of our quadrant.
David smiled. "Well, greetings to the western system from the southern system." Jana smiled too.
Greetings, Captain. I note that you are a long way from home. May I inquire as to your mission?
David returned. "We are on an urgent investigatory mission toward the Galactic Center." "And your mission?" Jana answered.
My mission is strictly exploration and discovery. My mission is to contact other civilizations and peoples for peaceful interchange.
David answered, "Ordinarily, that would be my mission. But our mission is quite urgent." The captain of the Enterprise queried.
Captain Stevens, I notice you keep saying our mission. Are there more ships?
David shrugged. "I can only tell you that we are not alone. If I call, we would have a fleet here and very quickly." Jana asked.
Is this fleet on the same urgent mission?
David responded, "It is. I must say that I am pleased to meet you, but I must be moving on if I am to hold up my end of our mission." Commander Kiter leaned over and spoke in David's ear.
Captain, I have just been going over the sensor logs of our encounter with this ship.
David spoke. "Captain Zenner, please excuse me a moment. Lieutenant Colfer, kill the audio." "What is it, Mr. Kiter?" Kiter answered.
Captain, that ship just appeared in space in front of us. The log shows a sudden appearance as if it appeared from nowhere.
David nodded. "I understand. Thank you. Lieutenant, audio, please." "Thank you for your patience, Captain." She asked.
Captain Stevens, may I inquire as to the nature of your mission? Why is it so urgent?
David told her, "I can't reveal that. I will have to ask my admiral. Will you stand by?" She replied.
Yes, we are in no hurry.
David turned to the comm station. "Lieutenant, please get Admiral Holoran on the comm." Lieutenant Colfer, the communications officer on watch, hailed the USS Holoran and explained the need for David to talk to the admiral. After a short wait, a sleepy Tim Holoran appeared on screen.
What is it that has us getting up at 04:30?
David explained the situation to Tim and asked whether he should divulge the nature of their mission. So you see, Admiral, we may have some allies or at least co-belligerents. Tim yawned.
Yes, okay, tell the captain what we know. And keep me informed. Holoran out.
David called the Enterprise and explained the problem to Jana. So you see, even though the problem is many light years away, we need to find out the cause and extent of the phenomenon so that we can do whatever is necessary to preserve life. Jana lifted one eyebrow.
If you are so many light years away, as we are, why worry about it now?
He answered, let's suppose that this deadly phenomenon is spreading. We may be years away from trouble, but the trouble may reach us someday. Besides, what about other people and civilizations who are closer than we are? We would be guilty of complacency of their murder. A smile crossed Jana's face.
Captain, I am glad to hear you say that. We would like to accompany you for a while to evaluate what you have. Then I may take the issue to our system council and try to get you some help.
David said, great. Are you capable of ultralight 14? Puzzled, Jana asked.
What is ultralight?
David responded, ultralight is our subspace technology that lets us exceed light speed.
Captain, we don't have subspace technology. We travel in hyperspace to effectively exceed light speed. It seems that our technologies are incompatible. How can we accompany you?
David thought a moment, then said, your ship is much smaller than ours. We can take you in tow. We will use our tractor beam and secure your ship beneath the Constitution and surround you with our shields. That way, we could easily travel at ultralight speed together. Jana pondered then replied.
That seems to be a sound plan. I'll get my engineer on our part.
David smiled, and I'll get my chief engineer to work on our part. With that, David called O'Reilly and made the necessary arrangements. Soon the two ships, tied together by the tractor beams and shields, were traveling at ultralight 14. David informed Admiral Holoran and then left the bridge to shower and shave before his shift began. With the Western System deep space ship, Enterprise, securely tethered to the belly of the Constitution, Captain Jana Zenner and her crew freely mingled with the crew of the Constitution. After 6 days of working together, David and Jana contacted Admiral Holoran. Jana saw Tim on the view screen and remarked,
Oh, I see that you're a fleet admiral. If your system is anything like mine, and I trust it is from what I have seen here on the Constitution, you must be an extraordinary officer. I am well acquainted with our fleet admiral, Admiral Holoran, and he is an extraordinary man.
Tim blushed a little.
That's very flattering. I've never thought of myself as extraordinary, just a man in extraordinary circumstances.
Jana chuckled.
And modest. Well, Admiral, I am going to return to my system and present the facts of your concern before the Council and try to get them to send help. I believe it to be in our best interest to do so.
Tim replied.
Thank you, Captain. I believe we will need all the help we can muster. Godspeed. Calm seas and fair winds.
Captain Zenner was surprised.
Calm seas, Admiral. I see we have a great deal in common.
The two captains worked out a tentative plan to meet in about 6 weeks directly in line with their present course and speed. Jana's computers were programmed to continually calculate the position of the Constitution to facilitate their eventual meeting. With that done, the Constitution slowed to sub-light speed, released the Enterprise, and waited until the smaller ship was on its way. As they watched, the crew of the Constitution saw a bright spot form before the Enterprise and grow to engulf her. Then the spot was gone as well as the ship. David thought a moment about what he saw and then turned to the officer at the helm, Lieutenant Stevens, ultralight 14, steady on course.